ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. The first step to achieving anything you set your mind to is belief. It's that simple and it's that powerful. But I'm not just talking about believing in an abstract way. I'm talking about a rock-solid, unshakable certainty that you can and will create the life you want. It's the kind of belief that anchors you, even when the winds of doubt and fear come rushing in. Without it, nothing else matters. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you've already lost the battle before you've even started. Let's take a moment to think about belief in its simplest form. Everything in this world, every invention, every breakthrough, every achievement began with someone believing it could be done. It didn't matter if it had never been done before. It didn't matter if people told them it was impossible. Their belief in their vision was so strong, so clear, that it became the foundation for everything they did. That belief didn't just get them started, it kept them going, even when the odds were stacked against them. And let me tell you, those odds will come. But belief gives you the power to stare those odds in the face and say, watch me. Now, here's the thing about belief. It starts with clarity. You can't believe in something if you don't know what you're believing in, right? So ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what you think you should want, not what someone else expects you to want, but what do you, in your heart of hearts, truly desire? The clearer you are about your vision, the more powerful your belief will become. Because clarity gives you focus, and focus gives you the ability to channel all your energy into making that vision a reality. Once you have that clarity, you need to take it a step further. You've got to see it in your mind, not as some far-off dream, but as something real, something tangible. Close your eyes and picture it. What does your life look like when you've achieved your goal? How does it feel? Who are you with? What kind of person have you become? I want you to immerse yourself in that vision until it feels so real you can almost touch it. Because here's the truth, your mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's actually happening. When you visualize with clarity and emotion, you're training your brain to believe that it's already possible. And when you believe it's possible, you'll start to act in ways that make it inevitable. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't believe in myself yet? What if I've failed before? What if that little voice in my head keeps telling me I'm not good enough? Let me tell you this, belief doesn't have to start as a massive force. It can start as a whisper, a small spark. All you need to do is nurture it. Ask yourself, what if? What if this is possible for me? What if I have everything I need within me to make it happen? That question alone can change the game. You don't need to believe the whole staircase exists. You just need to believe in taking the first step. But belief isn't just about trusting in the dream. It's about trusting in yourself. You have to believe that you're capable, resourceful, and resilient. You have to believe that no matter how many times you fall, you'll get back up. Because the road to success isn't straight and it isn't easy. But belief is the compass that keeps you moving forward even when the path isn't clear. So belief is the foundation for everything. It's the force that ignites action. It's the light that cuts through doubt. And if you can hold on to it, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise, you'll find that there's nothing you can't achieve. Let's talk about something crucial. If you want to achieve anything in your life, you need to know exactly what you're aiming for. And I'm not just talking about some vague idea like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. No, I mean being specific, laser focused, because the truth is, if you don't know what you're chasing, how will you know when you've caught it? How will you take that first step or the 100th if you don't even know where you're going? Clarity is the name of the game, my friends. Without it, you're like a ship drifting in the ocean without a destination. But with it, you become unstoppable. You see, when you set clear, specific, measurable goals, you give your brain something to lock onto. Your mind is a problem-solving machine. It's designed to figure things out, to overcome obstacles, to get creative when the path isn't obvious. But it can only do that when it knows what it's working toward. If your goals are too broad or undefined, your brain doesn't have a target. And when there's no target, there's no progress. So instead of saying, I want to get in shape, say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by working out 5 days a week and eating healthier. Instead of saying, I want to be financially free, say, I want to save $20,000 in the next year by cutting unnecessary expenses and starting a side hustle. Do you see the difference? One is a dream, the other is a plan. But here's something powerful I need you to hear. Goals aren't just about numbers and deadlines. They're about purpose. They're about the why behind what you're doing. Because let's face it, there will be days when the excitement wears off, when it's hard to stay motivated, when you feel like giving up. And in those moments, your why is what will keep you going. So when you're setting your goals, ask yourself, why do I want this? What's driving me? The stronger your why, the stronger your will to push through when things get tough. Now, let's talk about breaking it down. Big goals are great, but they can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to start. That's why you need to chunk them into smaller, manageable steps. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you stand at the base and look up at the peak, it might seem impossible. But if you focus on just getting to the next checkpoint and then the next, suddenly it doesn't feel so daunting. Progress creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. So take that big goal and ask yourself, what's the first step I can take today? Maybe it's making a phone call, signing up for a class, or writing down a plan. Whatever it is, do it. Start small, but start. And don't just stop at setting goals, write them down. There's magic in putting pen to paper, in taking your dreams out of your head and putting them into the real world. Studies have shown that people who write down their goals are far more likely to achieve them. Why? Because writing them down makes them real. It makes you accountable. It gives you something to look at every single day as a reminder of what you're working toward. But here's the most important part. Your goals need to excite you. They need to stretch you, challenge you, push you beyond your comfort zone. Because the truth is, if your goals don't scare you a little, they're probably not big enough. You are capable of so much more than you realize, but you'll never discover that if you play it safe. Set goals that make you say, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to figure it out. That's where the magic happens. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want? What's my target? Be bold, be specific, and don't hold back. Because the clearer your vision, the more unstoppable your actions will become. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. And it's not just some fluffy, feel-good idea. It's rooted in how your mind actually works. Your brain is a remarkable thing, and here's what's incredible. It doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. Think about that for a second. That means when you take the time to truly see your goals, to feel them, to live them in your mind as if they've already happened, you're rewiring your brain to believe it's possible. You're programming it to look for ways to make that vision a reality. And once your brain believes something is possible, your actions will start to align with that belief. So here's the key. Don't just see your goal like it's a picture in the distance. Put yourself in it. Imagine every detail. If your goal is to run a marathon, don't just picture yourself crossing the finish line. Imagine the morning of the race. Hear the sound of your shoes hitting the pavement. Feel the breeze on your face and notice the pride swelling in your chest as you push through mile after mile. Make it so vivid that it feels like it's already happening. That emotional connection is what makes visualization so powerful. It's not just about thinking, it's about feeling. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the signal you're sending to your brain. You see, the way you think and feel directly impacts what you do. If you're constantly focusing on what could go wrong or why something won't work, your mind will find ways to confirm those doubts. But when you shift your focus to the outcome you want, when you make that vision so clear and so compelling, your brain gets to work finding solutions, opportunities, and paths forward. It's like turning on a spotlight in a dark room. You start to see things you couldn't see before. Now, this isn't just about imagining success, it's also about preparing for challenges. When you visualize your goals, don't just see the highlights. Imagine the obstacles you might face and see yourself overcoming them. Picture yourself handling setbacks with grace, adapting to changes, and finding your way through. This kind of mental rehearsal strengthens your resilience. When those challenges come, and they will, you won't be caught off guard because you've already seen yourself conquer them in your mind. But here's the thing, visualization isn't a one-time thing. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily practice. It's about training your mind every single day to stay focused on where you want to go. Take 5 minutes each morning, just 5 minutes, to close your eyes and step into your vision. Remind yourself of why you're doing this, why it matters to you, and then carry that feeling with you throughout the day. Let it fuel your actions, your decisions, your energy. And don't stop at visualizing. Pair it with action. Visualization without action is just daydreaming. When you combine the clarity of your vision with consistent, intentional steps forward, that's when the magic happens. That's when your goals stop being ideas and start becoming reality. The two go hand in hand. The clearer and more vivid your vision, the more inspired your actions will be, and the more inspired your actions, the closer you get to turning that vision into your life. So, if you haven't been using visualization yet, start now. See it, feel it, live it in your mind every single day, because when you do, you're not just imagining a better future, you're creating it. You're laying the foundation for the life you've always dreamed of. And that, my friends, is how you turn possibility into reality. Action is where everything comes to life. You can have the clearest vision, the strongest belief, and the most vivid visualization, but without action, none of it matters. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the moment when your intentions meet the real world and you start creating momentum. The problem is, too many people get stuck waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. Let me tell you something right now. There's no such thing as the perfect time. The perfect time is the moment you decide to start. The moment you choose to move forward despite the uncertainty, despite the fear, despite not having all the answers. That's the moment your life begins to change. When you take action, you're sending a message to yourself and to the world. You're saying, I'm serious about this. I'm not just talking about it, I'm doing something about it. And here's the thing about action. It creates clarity. You don't need to have every step figured out before you begin. In fact, you'll never have every step figured out until you start moving. The first step reveals the second reveals the third. It's like driving at night. Your headlights only show you a few feet ahead, but as long as you keep moving, the road keeps unfolding. Action doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. Sometimes we get caught up in the idea that if we can't make massive progress immediately, it's not worth starting. It's a lie. Small steps compound over time. Each step reinforces your belief in yourself and your ability to figure things out as you go. Now, let me tell you something about fear. Fear loves inaction. It thrives on hesitation. The longer you wait, the louder fear's voice becomes. But here's the truth. Fear fades in the face of action. When you step into the thing you're afraid of, when you take that leap, fear loses its grip on you. You realize it's not as big or as overwhelming as it seemed, and even if it is, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it, and with every action you take, you build that courage. You strengthen that muscle. Action also has a way of attracting opportunities. When you put yourself out there, when you start moving toward your goal, things start to shift. People notice, doors open, resources you didn't see before suddenly come into view. It's almost as if the universe responds to your commitment. But none of that happens until you take the first step. Waiting for everything to line up perfectly is like standing in front of a fireplace and saying, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." That's not how it works. You've got to put the wood in first. You've got to take the initiative. And don't let failure stop you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every successful person you've ever admired has failed. They've made mistakes, they've stumbled, they've fallen flat on their face. But they didn't stop, they learned, they adjusted, they kept moving forward. Action isn't about getting it right every time. It's about being willing to take the shot even if you miss, because you know that every miss brings you closer to the mark. The key is to start where you are with what you have. Don't wait until you're ready, because you'll never feel fully ready. Just take that first step. One step leads to another, and before you know it, you've covered more ground than you ever thought possible. You don't need perfection to succeed. You need progress. And progress only happens when you take action. Progress requires resilience, plain and simple. Life will test you. It's not a question of if, but when. The moment you decide to go after something big, something meaningful, you're going to encounter challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. That's just the way it works. And it's not because life is trying to punish you, it's because growth demands it. The path to achieving anything worthwhile isn't a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and moments where you'll question everything, but it's in those moments that resilience becomes your greatest ally. Resilience is about deciding that no matter what happens, you will keep moving forward. It's about understanding that setbacks are not failures, they're feedback. They're moments that teach you, shape you, and make you stronger. When something doesn't go as planned, it doesn't mean the dream is dead. It means you've discovered one way that didn't work, and now you have the chance to pivot, to adjust, to try again. That's the mindset that separates people who give up from people who achieve greatness. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the ability to adapt, to get back up, and to keep going when things get hard. You have to embrace the discomfort. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you're going to have to stretch yourself. And stretching isn't easy, it's uncomfortable, it's messy, and sometimes it's painful, but that's the price of progress. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you refuse to quit, you're building mental and emotional strength. You're teaching yourself that you can handle more than you thought you could, and that strength becomes a part of you. It's something no one can take away. Now, resilience doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It's okay to feel frustrated, disappointed, or even scared when things don't go your way. That's part of being human. But resilience is about what you do with those feelings. Do you let them stop you, or do you use them as fuel to keep going? It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about channeling them into action. It's about saying, this is hard, but I'm not done. This is challenging, but I'm not quitting. I'm stronger than this moment. And let's talk about the power of perspective. When things go wrong, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and feel like the world is ending. But in the grand scheme of things, those setbacks are just temporary. They're bumps in the road, not dead ends. Sometimes what feels like a failure is actually setting you up for something better. Think about it. How many times in your life has something not worked out the way you wanted, only for it to lead to an opportunity you never expected? When you shift your perspective and start seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, everything changes. Resilience is also about surrounding yourself with the right people. You don't have to face challenges alone. Lean on the people who believe in you, who remind you of your strength when you forget it yourself. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, seek them out. Build a community of like-minded individuals who inspire you and push you to be better. Because no one achieves anything great in isolation. Resilience thrives in connection. The truth is, resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Every time you face a challenge and choose to rise above it, you're strengthening that muscle. Every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, you're proving to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. And that's what it takes to achieve anything you set your mind to, an unshakable commitment to keep moving forward no matter what. Gratitude is the secret sauce to achieving anything you set your mind to. It's the force that fuels you even on the toughest days and keeps your heart in the game. When you tap into gratitude, you shift your entire state. You move from scarcity to abundance, from focusing on what's missing to celebrating what's already here. And that shift, it changes everything. Because when you're in a state of gratitude, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're operating from a place of strength, clarity, and love, and that energy pours into everything you do. Gratitude is about acknowledging the progress you've made, no matter how small it might seem. Too often we're so focused on what's next, on the goals we haven't reached yet, that we forget to celebrate how far we've come. Think about how many times have you achieved something you once dreamed about, only to move on to the next thing without even taking a moment to appreciate it. When you take the time to pause and reflect, you're reminding yourself of what's possible. You're building the confidence to tackle the next challenge because you've seen what you're capable of when you stay committed. It's not just about being thankful for the big wins, though. It's about finding gratitude in the small things, the everyday moments, the laughter of a loved one, the sunrise that greeted you this morning, the opportunity to try again even after a tough day. Gratitude trains your mind to focus on what's good even when life isn't perfect. And here's the truth. Life will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties. But when you cultivate gratitude, you realize that perfection isn't the goal, progress is, growth is. And gratitude makes the journey so much more fulfilling. When you're grateful, you're not just improving your mindset, you're improving your relationships. Gratitude is contagious. When you show appreciation to the people around you, when you take the time to acknowledge their efforts, their kindness, their support, you're building connections that matter. You're creating an environment of trust, respect, and positivity. And those connections, they're priceless. They're the foundation for everything you'll ever achieve, because no one succeeds alone. The people who support you, who cheer you on, who pick you up when you fall, they're part of your journey. Never take that for granted. Gratitude also gives you perspective. When things get tough, and they will, it's easy to feel like the world is against you, like nothing is going your way. But when you shift your focus to what you can be thankful for, you start to see things differently. You realize that even in the hardest moments, there's something to learn, something to grow from. Challenges stop feeling like roadblocks. That perspective doesn't just help you keep going, it makes you stronger. It reminds you that you faced storms before and come out the other side, and you can do it again. The practice of gratitude is simple, but it's powerful. Start each day by asking yourself, what am I grateful for? Write it down, say it out loud, or just hold it in your heart. But feel it. Feel the gratitude deeply. And don't just do it when things are going well. Do it when things are falling apart. Because gratitude isn't just about celebrating the good times, it's about finding the good even in the struggle. It's about saying, this is hard, but I'm thankful for the strength to face it. I'm thankful for the lessons I'm learning. I'm thankful for the chance to grow. Gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a choice. And when you choose it day after day, it changes the way you see the world. It changes the way you see yourself. And when you come from that place of gratitude, there's nothing you can't achieve.